Okay, so this is Mr. Wyrick, and I'm going to help walk you through this Unit 3A test review just real quick, kind of hit the highlights, make sure you know what you're going to do so you'll be ready for the test on Monday. Okay, so the first thing, it gives us g of x is equal to -3, and then in parentheses, -5 minus x. It says, what is g of 7? We're going to take that -7, sub it right there. Okay, don't forget both negative signs. So in the parentheses, -5 minus the -7. Don't forget that. Make sure you're doing it right. The -3 out in front of that. You can type it in the calculator, get your answer from there. On this one, parallel means we're running the same way, like parallel parking. Perpendicular means we're at 90 degrees, okay? This is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. So if it's running parallel to the x-axis, it's gonna be y equals. If it's running parallel to the y-axis, it's gonna be x equals. And then we look at what our values are. Y equals 10, x equals -5. Anytime you have this x equals, it's that straight up and down vertical line. Anytime you have y equals, it's a horizontal line. On this one, you graph it. Make sure you remember what to do with the slope and the y-intercept. I explained it in another video, you can check it there. On this one right here, we have to solve for y. Eliminate what x is, divide by in front of y. So we add 2x, we add 2x, we divide everything by 6 all the way across it. Then we can graph just like we're graphing over here. Make sure you know how to graph. Make sure you can pick out those graphs. Down here at the bottom, find the value of x, means we're doing numerical solve, or you can distribute the -1, distribute the -3, combine the like terms, solve it. On this one, this is direct variation. Y is equal to kx. Put in the values that they give you, okay? Put in the values that they give you, solve for the other one. All right, on a multiple choice test, find the value of k that you can multiply by the value of x that will give you the value that you have of y. Check your answers, you can find it. On these, create a table that represents y as a function of x. You can put any numbers you want in here, it doesn't matter. Don't repeat the x's. If this one that's not a function, repeat an x, okay? X is 2, y is 7, x is 2, y is also 5. Can't be two different places at the same time, not a function. Find the slope of the graph. This one, it had the line. Remember, positive slope goes uphill, negative slope goes downhill. That should get you to 50-50 on a multiple choice. On this formula, if we're going to solve for p, again, eliminate what is on the same side of the equal sign as p. So we subtract 2b from both sides. And then if we're solving for p, this is multiplied. Divide by h, divide everything on the other side by h. If -5 is an element of the domain, that's the x. What is the y for this one? Put this in for x. That's how that works. Simplify. We're putting together like terms, okay? Here's my x. Distribute my -1. Here's an x. Here's an x. Here's an x. You put together the x's. Then we find our numbers, and we're going to put together all of our numbers. What is the slope of the line that goes through here? Change in y over change in x. Every single time, change in y over change in x, change in y over change in x. And these are written as x comma y. They're in alphabetical order. It should be easier to remember that way. On number 13, the y-intercept. Anywhere you've got this graph information on your paper, I don't have it, anywhere I cross the y-axis is a y-intercept. This is going to be a griddable. So if it were up here at 0, 9, I'm going to put 9 and grid in 9. The other three terms for x-intercept: roots, solutions, zeros. Never forget them. Play that section back on the video about 18 times until you remember it. Slope of the line. This one we're going to give you the formula. It's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is equal to m, the slope that they give you. Put everything in that you've got, solve for the last one, or use numerical solve on the calculator. Anytime we have x, it's a straight up and down line, 10, 9, 8, 7. Anytime we have y equals, it's a horizontal line, 10, 9, 8. And the last few on here. What is the value of x when y equals? Put this, if y equals it, in for y. You're down to just x. Solve for that x or use numerical solve. When driving a car, this is direct variation, directly proportional. Y is equal to k times x. See what they give you, find out if it's y, find out if it's x, or read it. Find the thing that makes the most sense out of those answers that you have a possibility of. Which equation is this one? It's going downhill. It's a negative slope. Negative slope, positive slope. This one, when we distribute, is going to be a negative slope. This one, when we subtract 5 and divide it by 4, is going to be a negative slope. This one, when we add 5 divided by 4, is going to be a positive slope. I've got it down to these three. If it's more than one of them, I'm going to choose the answer that says the ones that come out right. Okay, I can check my negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be a right answer. My negative 5, negative 5. So I just got to know if negative 20 divided by 4 is going to be negative 5. That'll tell me my answers. On the last one, she spent this much money. This is my cost. I'm solving for S. Okay, if it comes out of decimal, if it comes out of fraction, you know you're in the wrong spot because you can't get half of a pair of shoes. Don't go into the store, take one shoe out and try to pay for it. It won't work. All right? Hopefully this will help you leading into the test. Make sure, go over this video. If something didn't make sense, come to Coach Wooten, come to Mr. McLaughlin, come to me. Get help where you need help. Be ready for the test.